Over 10 million groups are on Facebook and over 1.8 million people use them each month. But are they a good idea for your business? In this video, we reveal why using a Facebook group for your students is the worst place to build community, how it can hurt your business, some recent rule changes by Facebook that you need to know about, and where we believe the most beautiful place for community is.
Okay, Sandy. So before we dive into spilling the tea on what's happening with Facebook groups, let's just even define what they are and how they're used by businesses.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a rise in the last, I don't know, what, 10 years? Like every business was using Facebook group, a free Facebook group to kind of collect potential clients, right? Where they would nurture and talk and, give free content away, be available for questions. And then the effort was like made to move them into a paid program. So
Mhm.
that was a free Facebook group.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think we've all seen a movement away from that, at least with respect
Yes.
to free groups, because I think starting with the Cambridge Analytica scandal, there are a lot of people who simply don't want to use Facebook,
Right.
even though they're still using Instagram and it's the same company. Facebook feels a little bit more icky. So I think it's a challenge for business owners to gather an audience there if your audience tends to be the kind of people who are more concerned about things like privacy issues.
Right, right. So free groups as a sort of lead generator, but then there's also paid groups. So once somebody comes into your membership or buys a course or, hires you for coaching, whatever it may be, business owners are also creating like communities that are attached to a paid program.
Yeah. So I would think of those as like client communities. So a place where
Sure.
your clients, your paying clients are hanging out and interacting not only with
Mhm.
you, but potentially with each other.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and still on Facebook, people still, like, will sell it on Marvelous or wherever, and then the students have to go over to Facebook to communicate, and it just, drives me nuts.
Mhm.
So, those are sort of 2 distinctions, paid versus free.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just talk about the problems with Facebook groups before we get into solutions. Like there are a ton of problems. I think all of us who are still even on Facebook are on there reluctantly for various reasons because maybe
Truth.
our cousins or great aunts are on there or we're part of a group that's important to us. But there are a lot of problems. And the first one is just you open up Facebook and it is a stream of distraction and
Yeah.
kind of like the grossest parts of society, like kind of blasting at you all at once.
Yeah, it is awful, and, I was just in a coaching program, that used Facebook, very, 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 very high ticket that still used Facebook. It just seems so for the amount that you pay and, like, you're using a Facebook group? Oh my god. It's awful, and I think the distractions, the feed, the DMs, the garbage GMs that we get, like, it's all pulling your attention, every which way, and, of course, your feed shows up, and then you kinda click ar it's just distracting, right? And in this day and age, that's the last thing we need to be doing is when you intend to go to Facebook to interact in the group, to comment, to participate, and then you're pulled and it just, like, emotionally I it's just a terrible experience, I think. Super
Yeah, and
distracting.
I think that the reason why people still use those groups is just because, like, they haven't maybe bothered to figure out another solution, and this is what they've been doing for years and years because, 5 plus years ago, Facebook groups were better, like, the platform was better. A lot
Mhm.
of the things that or maybe more than 5 years ago, a lot of the things that we're talking about having concerns with maybe hadn't happened yet, and also, here's the other thing, young people, like Gen Z, if like anyone from Gen Z is part of your audience, you shouldn't use a Facebook group for anything because those people will
They
not
don't
make a
even know what that is. Yeah, they never like, my son
so
has never even logged on to Facebook ever. He
yeah.
has no idea.
Yes. Yes. So and lots of millennials won't use it either. So
Mhm.
also depending on your demographic, using a Facebook group for either free or paid is not a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other thing that drives me crazy is how disconnected. So if I buy a coaching program and here I am, doing the course or joining on the calls or whatever it may be, and then I have to go, "Oh god, I gotta go log into Facebook to participate." Having those 2 things separate, I think is incredibly inconvenient, and as I said, I think it looks really uh, cheap,
Yeah, that's
tacky.
what I was
There's like, I don't know what the
Yeah,
right
it
word
is
is,
it
but it's
is
like,
it is tacky, yes. Here's the thing, we obviously run a software company and we co-founded it, and the one thing, like, the biggest pet peeve I
yes,
have with respect to design is Facebook Blue, like, nothing can ever be Facebook Blue that touches our product
ever. Mhm.
just because of what maybe that blue would not have bothered me if Facebook were not to have existed, but because it does, it's just so the ick factor is there, and so I
Yeah.
think just, like, acknowledging that you as an entrepreneur, as an online business owner, do not need to participate and use Facebook in your business.
Mhm.
It is not a necessary thing. In fact, there are lots of reasons why you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, which is our next point.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, like, just do we wanna be like, it I think we get to decide as business owners what companies we associate with, and I like, for me,
Yeah.
I mean, we're off Instagram pretty much, and, now that my coaching program's over, I will never log into there's no reason for me to go into Facebook at all, and I
Mhm.
know we've done a lot of podcasts in the past about this. I don't want to touch that company, to be honest. I don't want anything I
Mhm.
don't trust it. I don't want my information in it. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's kind of sad, right? Because Facebook was a core part of our experience as entrepreneurs, when we were getting started 10 years ago, and the platform was really powerful as a tool for us to build an audience and connect with people. But, things change and it's no longer something that either of us, I think, feel ethically aligned with. So it's a place that we don't really spend a lot of time. So I
Mhm.
think that's important to consider. And you absolutely, as an entrepreneur and as an online business owner, can make decisions around where you spend your time and money based on your ethics and your values. And I
Yeah.
think that speaks volumes to your audience and to your clients. So this is one of those things, like, everyone gets to make their decisions themselves, but this is one of those things that for us is kind of a no go.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're sort of stuck with this look and feel of the Facebook, right? As you mentioned, the awful blue. You can't really brand, or you can put like a image across the top, and that's pretty much it, right? Like, you don't have any ability to make this sort of match your brand and your business and the sort of look and feel.
Mhm. Yeah, that's right. So I think our audience is very interested and concerned with aesthetics. And so
Mm.
so are we. And
Yeah.
aesthetics are really important to us. And so, like, we try to cultivate our aesthetic into everything that we do. So obviously we use platforms like YouTube and other platforms, but we try where we can to bring our design aesthetic and our, the feel of home into
Yeah. Yeah.
how we show up.
And that's really important to a lot of women, and it's been ignored by primarily male-based startups. Like, just get the thing
Yeah.
functioning. I have an engineer husband, so I totally get it. He doesn't care about beauty, or he's just like, "Does it work? Great. Does it work? Great." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
really ugly," right? And so, but women love to I remember we had a client who was like, "I want people to come to my weight loss program and feel like a hug. Like, the software that they log into, like, the
Mhm.
whole experience should be beautiful." And I think that definitely includes your community.
Yeah, maybe more so than any other
Yeah,
part
of any of
of
the
what
other
you're doing,
parts. Yeah, yeah.
right? Because if a community is tied to your business, that's where people are probably gonna spend the bulk of their
Right,
time when they're interacting with your brand. So,
right.
like, yeah, you can watch a video on whatever screen a video is kind of a video. You're gonna
Mhm,
define the aesthetic based on your videography
mhm.
skills and your background, right? But community is that place where people are gonna gather and spend time and
Right.
interact. So you want to, like, treat it like a coffee shop. If you were opening a cafe, what
Yeah,
would that look and feel be
yeah.
like for your
Yeah,
people?
absolutely. Yeah, something to think
Yeah.
about. Okay, and then when there's a new post, and I don't actually like, I think there was complaints about, like, people don't get notified about new posts in the community, and, just for my recent experience in the Facebook group, like, I didn't have it open, so I never knew when somebody posted anything. I just, like, it was
Mhm.
just lost. I would like, "Oh,
Mhm.
there's some interesting things here," and I didn't know that that was posted, and I would have got in on the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have no feedback to Zuck, right? Like as a minion using a Meta platform, your ideas are, inconsequential to those engineers and to Mark Zuckerberg. So you have no ability to
Influence.
impact how the
Yeah.
product evolves.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
And then you also, when you use free tools like this, and I know it's like you paying with attention, but you're not paying any money for this free Facebook group that you're using, and you don't own it. It could disappear tomorrow. Zuckerberg could
Mhm.
decide turning off Facebook groups, like, and that has been rumored about, like, are they going to
Mhm.
exist anymore, or are you going to have to pay? So that is very scary as an owner, that you just like that it could, and they don't give you 2 years warning. It's like, we're not doing this anymore.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
not available.
Yes. In fact, I remember at some point, I don't know, 7 years ago, some odd time ago, when there used to be a Facebook Groups app, because I didn't actually have
Oh,
Facebook on my
right.
phone,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
used the Groups app all the time because
Forgot
I was
that.
in so many
Mhm.
coaching programs and training programs, and we had our own students
Mhm.
on Facebook before we developed our own community feature, and the Groups app was great for me. I mean, it was functional and I was quite happy with it. And one day they're like, "Oh, we're not supporting that anymore. That app's going away." And so
Right.
now to interact with groups on my phone, I have to go through the entire Facebook experience, which again is I think toxic. And here's
Mhm.
the thing. When I'm on my computer, I have a Chrome extension called Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator so that when I'm on my computer and I'm accessing Facebook groups that I'm in, I don't see that like plethora of like the assault of all of the politics and the gross things, right? Like I
Mhm.
just can go navigate. It's like empty, gray, ugly, and I can go
Mhm.
navigate to the
Mhm.
groups or to like my cousin or whatever, whoever I want to talk
Yeah.
to. But on my phone, if I wanna use groups, I am forced into the news feed. Like, I have
Mhm.
if anyone has any way around it, let us know, but I don't believe there's a way around it in the app. So, that's like, they've just basically for people who set boundaries around how they interacted with a platform like this, the folks at Meta basically, like, removed your ability to control what you see,
Mhm.
and that I
Mhm.
think is really problematic for a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of things just disappearing, we've recently become aware of a little API change that is going to affect all of you who use Facebook groups and use a scheduler to like post, Wednesday wins or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Yeah. So, right. So, Facebook has decided that they are eradicating the API for groups, which means that all of the third party tools, the social media tools, like you're saying, that schedule posts into these groups, where those of you who are business owners probably use these tools because you don't want to log into Facebook and post things all the time. They're like cutting off that connection.
Yeah.
So, this is a big warning to software companies. We follow this kind of news because we are one, right? Basically, if you build features around another platform, they can just take those features away whenever
Mhm.
they decide to. That's their business.
Mhm.
So, this is one of those things that is for those of you who are still using Facebook groups in your business, you're probably using one of these third-party tools and it's about to get a lot harder for you to now post your content and schedule your content, which is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a, yeah. If that happened, yeah, like for a business, that is disastrous. Plus, there's businesses that like those third party tools are businesses and they're
Yeah.
losing their
Yeah.
entire business because it doesn't work anymore what they created on it. So yes, that's always the danger when you
Yeah.
create off someone else's platform. Okay, where do we think people should build their community?
Funny you asked, Sandy. So we built essentially a replacement for Facebook groups into our own platform, Marvelous. Community was on our list for years and years, and I think we released it 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago into our platform. And we really did this to scratch our own itch because, in addition to
Yeah.
co founding a software company, we built an entire kind of online education company as well and a media company. And so we offer courses and coaching programs that we would often pair with community. And Facebook was the place to do it for many years. So we would sell courses and training programs, and they would come along with access to a Facebook group for a specific period of time. So we had to like get everyone into those groups. And then when the people left the programs or graduated from the training
Ugh,
programs, We had to have an entire person, a team member employed to make sure like people were added and removed properly and handled within that space. And like this is what technology is for, friends. This is why we build technology products and companies, because there are certain mundane tasks that like are not worth our human attention, and adding people and removing them manually from Facebook groups is one of those tasks that like
Yes.
we all
Yeah,
have lives to
absolutely.
live away from screens. So this is what technology is for. So we built a community platform inside of Marvelous so that when you sell a course or a teacher training program or a coaching program that includes access to you and the other folks in that program, your that student or client's access is now tied to the access to the course or training program. So when they leave or they don't pay, their access is automatically removed. And it's
Amazing.
branded. And yeah,
Mhm. And
amazing. And it's branded
beautiful.
with your design, right? Like it's your font and your banners and your
Yours.
like it's your space. So it's now like you don't have to send people to another place to interact
Yeah.
about something they
Yeah,
learned
it's
in a
all in one
video.
place. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watch a video, I'm like, have a comment or a question, I can just flip over to the
Yes.
community and get right in there. Plus, we
Yes.
just released a new feature this week around push
Well,
notifications.
it's yes,
But
it will be released by the time folks are watching this
yeah.
video. It is push notifications, and so yes. So if you're in a browser or on a phone and you're interacting with your people, you will now get push notifications like you do with any app that,
Yeah.
so and so just messaged you or replied to you. So that's really exciting, and I think that that's going to create a ton of engagement within the groups on our
Yeah.
platform. It's been a massively requested feature. The only reason we didn't have it before this was because Apple actually it's relatively recent that they allowed for this feature for a platform like ours.
Mhm.
So we were holding off waiting for Apple because most of our clients and their clients are on
Mhm.
iOS devices.
What I love is, like, every day, maybe a couple times a day, I would go check our community. So as the
Yeah.
coach, teacher, obviously, it's our responsibility to make sure questions are answered, and so I'm always, like, going to check, and now I can just wait, like, I can just see the notification pop up, and I know I need to go over there. So,
Yeah.
like, mentally, I don't have to worry about the community because it will tell me if something, needs attention, so that made me super happy.
Yeah. No, this is one of the things that I'm actually most excited about that we've released in years. I think it's a game changer. And again, we call it dog fooding in the like software space. Like we use our own product, right? So
Yeah.
Sandy, you and I run our own coaching programs and our own courses on Marvelous within our own site. And we use features like notifications to make our programs better and to make them
Yeah.
easier for us to use. So I mean, I just think it's a no-brainer, and it really is it was kind of like the last piece of a Facebook group that we really wanted to bring
Yeah.
over that we didn't yet have. So now like it is feature complete. We're very
Mhm.
happy with the
Yeah,
ability
no,
to use
it's great.
Marvelous instead of Facebook. And it's not like a second, third party tool either. Like you run your course on Marvelous, you have your community on Marvelous. You run your coaching program on Marvelous, you have your community on Marvelous. You sell your retreat on Marvelous, your retreat community is also on Marvelous. So these are all different scenarios where people are like, oh, I'm going to use this tool for this part and this tool for my
Yeah,
course and
yeah,
this tool for my community.
yeah,
No, no more. That's
too hard.
unnecessary, expensive, and you can get away with not having as big of a team when you're using a platform that kind of like
Yes,
Marvelous is like your
yes,
assistant. Like Marvelous is your VA.
yeah. Okay, so hopefully we've convinced you that you should ditch your Facebook group and come on over to Marvelous, and if you wanna know how easy it is to set it up, watch this video right here. See you, Jenny.
Thank you.